football is a great team sport, the greatest team sport ever. But it's also dependent on me winning my one-on-one battle, so I have to be prepared. I have to understand my opponent. I have to understand what he's trying to do to me and how I'm going to counteract that.
Hello and welcome to Leading the Way, presented by Gallagher. I'm Brian Sexton with Jaguars Hall of Famer, Tony Boselli. Hey Tony, how are you?
I like the ring of that.
You're pretty good at taking football and applying it to life, right? So here's a Gallagher question for you, right? Because their job is to protect their customers. Your job was to protect the quarterback. When you were lining up, how prepared were you for what the threat was going to be to Mark Brunell?
I better be really prepared, because otherwise, not only would I hear about it all week from my best friend driving to work, I was friends with his wife too, and I didn't want to hear Stacy yelling at me about getting her husband hit. So I had to be very prepared. And Brian, you're right. I mean, I've learned so much from the principles of football. You know, hard work, perseverance, teamwork, all those things, but also preparation.
So while you were still playing, you were thinking beyond football. You were thinking about a business career, which obviously once you stopped playing, you transitioned to. Give folks a sense of where your business career started and where it is today.
Yeah, so it started a little quicker than I wanted to, because I got hurt. I would have liked to wait until I was about 35 or 36.
It's easy to laugh about now.
Yeah, it's laughing now. I was crying then. But I mean, I was a business major at USC. Come from a family that was, my dad and uncle were in business. So I knew I wanted to do something when I was done. It did happen sooner. So I actually, Jeff Novak and I were one of my favorite former teammates. I had invested in a digital marketing company while I was still playing. He was retired. So I joined him and was doing business development in that. That led to, I'm not going to get into the details, to a winding path into healthcare. And I had a startup healthcare company delivering preventative care to pediatrics using public schools that led to a career in healthcare overall with Optum, and now I'm the chief growth officer of a digital healthcare company based in San Francisco that's venture backed.
All right, so let's put that back in the football world. How do you assess risk as a business owner now?
Well, listen, I think when I think about risk, I think about it from my own risk, because as an entrepreneur, and so a lot of that is, and I've been in startup world where high risk, high reward, because you're investing your own money, other people's capital on a new venture that a lot of those fail, but the upside is huge, and so you got to evaluate how do you manage that, how do you mitigate that risk to lower it as much as possible, and to increase the opportunity for reward.